Thank you for joining us, Gerard. Now, the East African Grain Council covers about 10 countries across the region. As a governing body, what role do you exactly play?
The role of EAGC in the region is to promote structured trading systems for grains, basically to integrate the grain sector from producer all the way up to consumers by making it structured in such a way that we're able to improve on the efficiencies and the effectiveness of the whole chain by reducing transaction costs across the whole chain and integrating the whole supply chain so that the process and the movement of grain from production to processing and to the consumer is as efficient and as effective as possible.
When it comes to grain handling and production capacity, of key concern is about shortages during droughts. The countries end up spending a lot in high imports, which are unsustainable as it is. In your view, what should be done to address this?
The interesting thing about this region of Eastern Africa is that from January to December, every single month, there's somewhere where we are harvesting grain. And while you have one part of the region suffering with deficits, you would have another part of the region with surpluses to the extent that some of the production would be rotting in the farms. And the key solution that we've been promoting as EAGC is to allow the region to trade among itself, to allow a lot more and promote and facilitate a lot more cross-border trade so that the neighboring countries of Eastern Africa can trade among ourselves and feed ourselves. And every time we have done surveys and we have looked at the processes, this region has more than enough to feed itself.
There's a continued emphasis on reverting to traditional foods in the likes of sorghum and millet, among others. In your view, do you think this will be ultimate decision or rather ultimate solution to addressing food security?
Absolutely, yes, because all those other grains like sorghum, like millet, and a whole range of the others, finger millet. First of all, they are very highly nutritious products with very high fiber content, and also they don't demand a lot of rainfall in terms of growing. So they have very high potential in themselves. And indeed, yes, promoting a lot more production and consumption of other grains is a very good solution that can help in improving the food security situation in the region.
How can grain trade across the region be accelerated, and what opportunities are there for both strategic partnerships and also investment?
Structuring trade really is one big opportunity. Organizing smallholder farmers is a big opportunity to increase trade. And another big opportunity is really to look at the market from a regional perspective, looking at the whole Eastern Africa market as one. Because even from the EAC, we are talking now of a population number of close to over 140 million people. So that is a big market to market to, but only if the community works. But if we keep putting barriers to trade, when we start putting export bans and import bans of grains, then that means that the market that is available is a small national market. And some countries, for example, like Uganda, that are net producers of maize, if Uganda would not be accessing the market in the region, then who will they be producing for? And considering that actually maize in Uganda is not a mainstream staple food like we have in Kenya or Tanzania, because they have matoke and several other traditional foods. So opportunity for improving and supporting grain trade in the region are very, very many, and they are promising to give a lot of returns to the stakeholders.
Will the establishment of a commodities exchange help in elevating the trade profile of grain across the region?
Commodity exchanges bring in opportunities for other additional instruments that can be utilized to support and promote the whole sector, and even inject more liquidity and investments in the sector. What do I mean by this? With a commodity exchange operating, you are able to have futures. You can trade in futures, so that you actually sell a contract to deliver a certain quantity and quality of maize at a future date, a year down the line or two, and as price is set. And then you can have those instruments like the futures contracts being traded at an exchange, and they can be traded for many times before the final delivery takes place. And then when you have such a system in place, investors, banks, financial institutions then find reason or find a nice structured way where they can come in and inject investments and credit and financing into production, into trading, and to all those things. So a commodity exchange definitely has a huge promise to the region. And looking at Eastern Africa, a commodity exchange would actually be looking to be viable from a regional perspective.
Now, agribusiness financing has been traditionally considered as a very risky venture for many firms. In your view, what trading systems do you think should be able to work and help address the situation?
One of the systems that can help in increasing more investments into agribusiness financing, one of the solutions is a warehouse receipt system. That is an automatic system in terms of that turns around the whole process. Secondly is contract farming. Contract farming also is absolutely useful in terms of injecting more, because once a contract has been executed, then a banker can actually, or a financial institution can finance the producer, because they know that when the producer produces, they already have a ready market to sell to, and there's a clear point at which the financier can recover their loan through that contractual arrangement that has been done.